Now today's topic is types of business activities. In our previous session, we had done what is business and the features of business activities. Now today we are going to do the types of business activities. Business activities is broadly classified into two categories, as you can see in this tree. One is industry and the other one is commerce. Now industry basically involves production of goods, whereas commerce is concerned with distribution of goods. That means in the industry we are manufacturing goods, and with the help of commerce we take these goods to the market, we take the goods to the consumers for selling. So in this chapter we are going to now study in detail what is industry, what are different types of industry. Similarly, we're going to study about what is commerce and different types of commerce. Okay, now what is industry? Industry basically means production of products with the help of human beings and other resources. That means we are producing, we are manufacturing products with the help of human beings and the other resources like machinery, material and money. That means we are applying machinery, your material means raw material, and the money along with the help of human beings, that means the manpower, and we are able to produce goods. Now in industry, we are producing two types of goods. As you can see in the tree, one is capital goods and the other one is consumer goods. Now capital goods are those goods which are used for further production of goods. For example, machines, for example, tools, for example, your nuts. Now in the industry, we make capital goods which are further used to produce other goods. For example, we are using machinery, we are using tools to manufacture other things. Now another part of goods is consumer goods. Consumer goods are those goods which are directly consumed by the consumer. That means you people, the people who go to the market to buy products. Example of consumer goods is your books, your toothpaste, your talcum powder, soap, all these things which the consumer consumes or uses directly are known as consumer goods. So we can say industrial goods are of two types: capital goods and consumer goods, and these types of goods are produced, manufactured in the industry. Are you clear? Okay, now we can also say, just see the definition here, industry is concerned with process of extraction, multiplication, processing, conversion and construction of products. From this definition we mean that in industry we go through different processes. We go through a process of extraction, we go to process of multiplication, processing, conversion and construction, and then we produce the products. This definition will be more clear when we do the different types of industry. Just have a look at the different types of industry. We have mainly three different types of industry. One is primary industry, next is secondary industry, and third is tertiary industry. Now these industries are further classified into two. Just have a look. The primary industry is classified into extractive industry and genetic industry. Your secondary industry is classified into manufacturing industry and construction industry. And your tertiary industries are the services. They provide you services. Now we are going to do all of them in detail one by one. Now here, first is your primary industry. Now what is a primary industry? Industries which are involved in extraction and multiplication of natural resources are known as primary industry. Now they provide raw material. These industries manufacture raw material for the secondary industry. That means, I'll give you a simple example. These industries provide you with the coal, which will be used by the secondary industry. These industries will provide you with the basic raw material, for example, wood, which you get in the forest. Okay, so wood is used by the secondary industry to make furniture. So primary industry is basically involved in extraction and multiplication. Now primary industry is of two types. First is genetic industry and the other one is extractive industry. Genetic industry are engaged, just look at the first point, in the reproduction or multiplication of certain species of plants and animals to earn profit by selling them. So genetic industry is basically involved in two things: either reproduction or multiplication of plants and animals. And when they do this, they sell it in the market and they earn profit. Example is poultry farms. I hope you all know what are poultry farms, where we are taking care, we are domesticating, the birds like chicken and all that to get egg, meat for consumption of food. Okay. Then we have plant nurseries. I think you're very familiar with plant nurseries also. You must be seeing in your areas, we have nurseries where you get plants, saplings of plants. So these are what? These are examples of your genetic industry. Then we have rearing of cattle. We are rearing cattle to get what? To get milk. So these are the examples of genetic industry. So if you see the examples, all of them leads to what? They leads to reproduction of animals, okay, or it leads to multiplication of plants. So we are getting something from all these things when we are domesticating all these animals, okay, and birds, okay, and taking care of the plants. Are you all clear with the genetic industry? Any doubt? Okay, I'll proceed to the next one. That is your extractive industry. Another type of primary industry is your extractive industry. Now, extractive industries are engaged in extraction of useful materials from beneath the surface of earth and sea. That means in extractive industries, we are extracting certain raw materials from under the surface of earth and sea. Example, just have a look at the examples like agriculture, mining, fishing, hunting, etc. Now, I hope you all know what is agriculture. In agriculture, we are growing crops. We are growing crops and we are getting the product under the earth's surface. Mining also, we are mining in the mines and we get coal, or we get iron ore, or we get many other minerals. Okay, then we have fishing. We do fishing in oceans and seas, okay, or rivers, and we are extracting fish out of them. Similarly, hunting also. Now, similarly, forestry also. We take care of the forest and we get wood, we get timber from the forest. So we are extracting all these things given to us by Mother Nature. Okay, all these things are gifted by nature, and we human beings extract them from either under the sea or under the earth, and we get the raw material which will be further used by the secondary industries. Okay, now under the extractive industries, if I ask you in the question, what are the features of extractive industry? You will now say that first thing is we get raw material for the other industries. Secondly, we will say we collect the natural resources given to us by Mother Earth or sea, or we get from air. Third thing is the location of all these raw materials will change. That means if we are mining, maybe at one point of time we get iron ore from one place, and the other point of time we get iron ore or coal from some other place. So the location keeps on changing. Okay, and the last thing is the things we have extracted from the earth or from under the sea, it cannot be replaced. As you know, if we extract fishes from the river once, we cannot put the fishes back in the river. So this is what under the extractive industries, what happens when we take the raw materials from under the earth or sea, we cannot give it back to the Mother Nature. Whereas in case of genetic industries, when we are growing plants, when we are taking care of the animals, okay, animals, they are reproducing. So what is happening? It's multiplying. Okay, we are giving back to the wealth of the nation. So if I ask you in the exam, what is the difference between genetic industry and extractive industry? What will be the difference between both of them? Can anybody answer me? Just unmute yourself and can you give me a answer for this? The difference between genetic and extractive industry? Anyone?
And the first difference will be that genetic industries are responsible for the reproduction and the multiplication of plants and animals.
Okay, yes.
And in the extractive industries, extraction of materials beneath the earth and sea.
Excellent answer. Good, first point is done. Second point?
Ma'am, in the genetic industry, the plants and animals which we have taken, they are multiplying. So they can be given back to the Mother Nature.
Absolutely correct. That means, in other words, we can adding to the wealth of the nation.
Yes.
Whereas in case of extractive industry, what will be the answer? They are not?
They can't be given back to the Mother Nature once it's extracted.
Excellent answer, Vidhi. You get full marks for this answer if you write this answer in exam. Excellent, Vidhi. Very good. Yes, this is a perfect answer. So if you get this answer in your exam, or if you have to attempt this answer in your notebook, you will write 2 points like what Vidhi said. First point will be the definition. Okay, the meaning of both of them. Second point will be, in case of genetic industry, we are adding to the wealth, whereas we are contributing something to the wealth, whereas in case of extractive industry, we cannot add anything to the wealth which we get from earth, air, or sea. Excellent answer, Vidhi. All right, I hope you all are clear with this. Primary industries. All right, now we move to the next one, is secondary industries. Now, what are secondary industries? These are the industries which are engaged in conversion of materials provided by primary industry. So that means whatever we get from the primary industry, whatever raw material we get from the primary industry, that is converted into a finished product. I hope you all know what is a finished product. That means what you get in the market, the end product, okay, the complete product. So we take the raw material from the primary industry and we convert into semi-finished or finished product in the secondary industry. I have given you an example. Just have a look at the example. Simple example, like in case of primary industry, from this example you can see on your screen. In primary industry, what are we doing? Example, we are mining iron ore and we are also mining coal. So these are two raw materials which we are extracting in the primary industries are extracting. Now what will happen to these two? When we take them to the secondary industry, we are converting iron ore and coal together. We are combining them and we are making what is the finished product here? It is steel. I hope you're very clear with this example, that what we are doing. We are taking raw material from the primary industry. In this case, we are taking iron ore and coal from the primary industry. And in the second industry, through a process, we are converting both of them. We are combining both of them and converting into steel. So steel is the end product, what you get in the secondary industry. All right. Now we are going to talk about the two types of secondary industry. Have a look here. We have two different types of secondary industry. One is manufacturing industry and the other one is construction industry. Now, manufacturing industries are concerned with processing or transformation of raw materials and semi-finished goods into finished products. Okay, as I just mentioned you, that we're taking the raw material from the primary industry and they go through a process, or we convert them or combine them and we form a finished product. That means the end product, what you get in the market. Now you have to understand that in the manufacturing industries, we normally change the shape, we normally change the form of material which we get from the primary industry. A simple example, for example, we are extracting wood and timber from the forest. That is done by the primary industry. Now we get what? We get raw material. Wood is raw, timber is raw. When we bring it to the secondary industry, they go through a process. For example, we have to make furniture. So through machineries, through the different processes, we are converting this wood and timber into furniture, into table or chair. So what we are doing, we are changing the shape and the form of the raw material which we have got from the primary industry, and finally making into a finished product. In this case, finished product is your table or chair, and then we are selling it to the consumer, which is useful for the consumer. The consumer will use the table or chair or any other kind of furniture. Okay, I think you all are clear with what is manufacturing industries. Now, in under manufacturing industries also, we have different types of industries. Just have a look here. We have analytical industry, we have synthetical industry, we have processing industry, and we have assembling industry. Now we'll do all of them one by one. Now, what is analytical industry, or what happens in analytical industry? In analytical industry, the raw material is broken into several other useful materials. Simple example, we extract crude oil. Primary industries are extracting crude oil, that means the raw oil. Now this crude oil is processed and it is broken into what? It is separated by a process, and we get what? We get multiple products. We get kerosene, we get petrol, we get diesel, we get lubricating oil. So what we do in analytical industry, the raw material which we get from the primary industry is broken into different other useful finished products. In this case, we are getting petrol and diesel and many other things. Now, next we have synthetical industry. Now in synthetical industry, we are doing what? We are mixing two or more raw materials which we get from the primary industry, and we form a new product. Example, we get coal, we get gypsum, we get concrete from the primary industry, and what we do, we mix all of them, and what product we get? We get cement. Okay, so in synthetical industry, we are mixing two or more materials, and after mixing the two or more materials, finally we get an end product, and in this case, we are getting cement. The third industry, processing. Now, what is processing? In this, a material is processed through various stages, and after that, after going through different stages and processes, we get the end product. Example, cotton. The cotton textile industry, what they do is they get cotton as a raw material that is extracted, that is grown by the primary industry. We get the raw cotton. Now, this raw cotton is passed through various processes. Example, spinning, weaving, then we do dyeing of the cotton, we do bleaching of the cotton, then we do printing of the cotton, and finally when the whole process is done, what do we get? We get cotton clothes, we get the cloth, we get the cotton cloth. So in the processing industry, what we are doing, we get one raw material from the primary industry, and that raw material is passed through various processes, it goes through various stages, and finally we get the end product, the finished product. In this case, it is cloth. Okay, now the last one, assembling. Now in this type of industry, what happens? We have different components, we have different parts, and all together we combine them either mechanically or technically, and then we get an end product. A simple example is your mobile phones. You all have seen when you go to the market, you buy one handset, you get one mobile. How that mobile is made, if you ever get a chance to see what is inside a mobile, you will see there are different components, there are different parts in the mobiles, there are different parts, and they all are assembled together either mechanically or technically, and then what we get a handset, we get a mobile. Similarly, another example, your ACs or your television, then is your refrigerator, any electronic item, you will see they come in the compact form, but in the compact form, in the fridge or in the AC, if you open it, you will see there are different components or different parts which all are assembled together, and then they give you a final product. Now, assembling is what? Basically, combining different components mechanically and then giving you a new product or the final product. So these are the 4 different types of manufacturing industries. Any doubt in manufacturing industries or till what we have done?
Ma'am, one doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, are the products given by the manufacturing industry durable?
Yes, definitely. I hope you all are using mobiles. You all are using refrigerators, televisions, any kind of electronic product which you all are using. Are they durable?
Yes.
They are durable. If they are made by some good companies, responsible companies who have proper quality control checks and very branded companies, they're definitely good. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And what do you mean by semi-finished product?
Semi-finished good means those products which are neither raw material nor a finished product. Like in this case of the assembling industry, I just mentioned that we are combining different components and parts. If you have ever noticed a computer, if you open a computer or a mobile, you can see there's small circuits or a chip. Yes?
Yes.
See a small chip or a memory card. Alone, can you use a memory card if you don't have any electronic appliance or anything? No. So what is that? That's a semi-finished goods. That unless you fix into something, it cannot give you an end product. All right? Okay. Any other doubt?
Ma'am,
Yes.
what do you mean by analytical industries?
Analytical industries, I just explained you here what happens. The raw material which we get from the primary industry, that is broken down or divided into other products. I just gave you example of crude oil. We are extracting crude oil from the Saudi countries, right? Yes.
Yeah.
That crude oil is raw. I mean, we can't use it. The quality is not good. So what we do in the analytical industry, there's a process. This crude oil undergoes a process, and from the crude oil we separate petrol, we separate diesel, we separate kerosene and a normal lubricating oil. So from one crude oil, when we have done an analytical process, we are getting 4 or 5 different types of finished goods.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Vedant. Vedant, I can't hear you. Please unmute yourself.
So sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, what is synthetical cement?
Synthetical, not cement. Synthetical industry is an industry and cement is an example of that industry. Okay, synthetical industry is industry where we are mixing two raw materials which we get from the from the primary industry, and we get the final product. And I have given you example of cement. I have told you that in synthetical industry, we are getting coal, we are getting gypsum, we are getting concrete from as a raw material from the primary industry. And when we are mixing all of them, we are getting what? The end product is cement.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, how are primary industries different from secondary industries if we didn't have any examples to differentiate them with?
Why not? I have given you so many examples. Primary industry is basically dealing with what? Extraction and multiplication of natural resources. Whereas secondary industry is engaged in conversion of these material into the finished product. That is the first difference. Second difference is the types of industries. Under primary industry, we have genetic and extractive industry. Under secondary industry, we are having manufacturing and construction. Example under primary industry will be your agriculture, your mining, your forestry, so many things. Animal husbandry, your poultry farming. Whereas in case of secondary industry, the example is like what we have given you just now. The cotton textile industry, sugar industry, cement industry. All these are examples of secondary industries.
But ma'am, they will come as examples then.
What?
Ma'am, all these industries, ma'am, genetic industry. Ma'am, they will all come.
Genetic industry is not example. That's a type of industry. Example is reproduction of plants and animals. Example is cattle breeding. Example is poultry farming. Example is agriculture.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Any other doubt? All right. Now I'll come to the second part of the second industry, that is your construction industry. I think from the word itself, it's very clear. These industries are engaged in the construction of buildings, bridges, roads, dams, etc. Now, basically, again, they are the products of the manufacturing industry. They take brick, they take steel, they take cement, and they form the basic infrastructure for the country. Now, this infrastructure, you have to remember that the products which are produced here, for example, your dams or buildings, they are fixed at one place. You cannot take them to the market and sell. They are at one place only. They are very durable. So construction industry is basically what? It is into construction of your roads, your tracks, your buildings, your bridges, and your dams. Are you clear with this? Okay, they basically help in the growth of the economy of the country. They basically provide the basic infrastructure for the development of the country. All right, now, so we have done the two different types of secondary industry. One is manufacturing and the other one is in construction. Now we go to the third type of industry. The third type of your industry is your tertiary industries. Now, tertiary industries are basically concerned with providing you services to facilitate and assist the primary and the secondary industry. So what do you mean? We mean that tertiary industry, we also call it as a service sector. They are basically providing services to help the primary and secondary industry in manufacturing of the goods. Okay, now what are the examples of tertiary industry? As you can see, examples are transportation, it's banking, it's warehousing, it's advertising, it's packaging, it's insurance, and many more. So all the services which you see around you, the service sector, which are giving you services in form of cash, in form of keeping your goods in the warehouses, advertising about your product, taking your products from the industry to the market, okay, ensuring your products against any kind of risk, and packaging your products. All of them are provided by the tertiary industry, and tertiary industry, the main motive is basically to provide these services to help the primary and the secondary industry for proper production of goods. Are you all clear? Yes? Okay, so today we have done what? We have done types of business activities. I'll just do a recap. We have done industry. What is an industry? We have done the different types of industry. Like, can anybody tell me what are the three different types of industries? Yes, Vedant, can you please tell me the different types of three industries? Yes.
Ma'am, there are primary industries, ma'am, which focus on reproduction of animals and plants.
Absolutely.
And then, and also it also focuses on and emphasizes on this extraction of coal or extraction, and then there
Correct.
comes secondary industries, ma'am,
Yes.
and then tertiary industries, ma'am.
Excellent. I think Palak also raised her hand. Palak, can you tell me the two different types of primary industry? Palak, you raised your hand. Yes, Palak?
Ma'am, what was the question? Can you repeat?
Two different types of primary industry.
Yeah, extraction and genetic.
Excellent. Can you give me one example of genetic and extractive?
Yeah, the example for genetic is reproduction or multiplication of poultry.
No. You will say only poultry farming. Okay?
Okay.
You will not say reproduction or multiplication. You will say only poultry farming or cattle breeding or plant nurseries. Okay? Just give the exact answer. All right? And an example of extractive industry?
Extraction of coal or any metal ores or something.
Okay. So in other terms, you can say mining.
Yeah.
Yes. So the perfect answer will be you can say mining, fishing, or agriculture. Clear, Palak?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes. The next is secondary. Under secondary industries, Vidhi, can you tell me what are the two types of secondary industries?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Vidhi.
Ma'am, the first one is manufacturing industry,
Okay.
which is responsible for processing and converting the primary sector which have provided goods to
Okay.
convert them into semi-finished product.
All right.
Example is processing of cotton.
All right.
Then we have construction industry, which is responsible for the construction of dams, buildings, roads, and etc.
Excellent
And
answer. Good answer. Only this much. If it is a short answer for 2 marks, you just have to give what I have asked. Okay. I had raised the hand, Tani. Can you give me an answer? What do you mean by tertiary industry? Tane, I think I saw your hand. You raised your hand. What do you mean by tertiary industry? Or give me an example of tertiary industry. Anybody else who can give me example apart from Vidhi, Vedant, and Palak?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, examples of tertiary like transportation, banking, warehousing, and advertising.
Excellent. And can you just give me in one line what is the meaning or what do tertiary industries do? Who can give me an answer? Tanmay, can you give me the answer of this also? What they do?
Ma'am, they provide services. They provide services to facilitate and assist the primary and secondary industries.
Excellent answer. Good, Tanmay. Very good answer.